Everyone, and welcome to the fifth edition of the Unplugged podcast. Last episode with Casey Moran, notice my new co-host DJB was a little late to the show. It may or may not be the same thing here because having some issues. So he might pop in late. He may not be here at all. Who knows? Last one he showed up like 10 minutes in and then finished out the show, but I don't know if that'll repeat. But this show, our guest is none other than the Goddess. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm here. That's the gist of it. I am here. I'm functioning.
Well, I mean, that's better than not.
Yeah. After having to deal with after coming to terms with the fact that I'm having to deal with shit show promos all week, I'm like, oh fuck, here we go.
You know what's funny about that?
Huh?
I'm in a faction with your opponent.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I did not know this.
It's a new thing. It hasn't been announced completely yet. But not in a place that you're in, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. This fucking what was this AR-69 dude?
Yeah, he's apparently Cutthroat's little prodigy. And yeah.
Oh dear. I feel bad for you.
Does that
Uh-huh. Have you seen anything else of his? Like, was this just a bad take, or is this just my life?
I think it's just a bad take. I hope so. It. I watched yours, but I didn't watch his. Because something about me is I only watch my people's stuff because it's too much. There's too much.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, a lot to watch around, but like with that one is like, you know, it's just a car promo.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, I do.
It's all in the words. It's all in the words. Like the words is the basic of it. That's all you need is just to hear what he said.
Oh, was it that bad?
It was, not even a minute in, he talks about how we're going to the land of the rising sun, Beijing, China.
Wait a minute. Isn't that Japan?
Yeah.
Right? That's Japan. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then he tells me he tells me like 7 times that I am not ready for him, and then proceeds to sell himself by do what?
Is he Oscar?
I don't know.
Isn't that her thing?
But
that was her thing.
Yeah. No one is ready for Oscar. Yeah.
A couple years back.
And okay. Of course he'd be the one to rip off that, but whatever. And then
hey, well, at least your opponent didn't rant about Roman Reigns for life.
Oh, it gets better because then he proceeds to try to sell himself by telling me he has only had one singles match this whole season that he lost. But he's gonna make me a star. I thought you froze for a second.
No, I'm just real confused. I'm not kidding though. Like a minute and a half of this man ranting about Roman Reigns. Like, I even bring up Roman Reigns. He brought it up. Because he told me I was going to acknowledge him like I acknowledged my tribal chief. First of all, Roman Reigns is the prettiest man I've ever seen in my life.
I have a theory. Does that imply that he is stalking?
God, I don't know.
Because it wasn't brought up. But
I mean, it's no secret that I'm obsessed. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's no secret that Roman Reigns is my dude. But for you to bring it up, and he said that he did it to rile me up. Well, I turned to Roman Reigns. All I said was that the entire time I've been in EFED, I've been a Roman Reigns fan, and they've all made fun of me for it. Like, back when he was a baby face, like, everybody did. Like, Nick, Alicia, Sherry, everybody made fun of me for being such a Roman Reigns fan. Beezy.
Yeah, there weren't many Roman fans back then.
Not many, no. Mm-mm. So, but then he ranted about how he was leaky in FCW.
Wait.
Yeah.
He called him leaky?
Yeah. He told Roman Reigns' professional story in his promo. And I was like, okay, well, there's that. Love your face.
You know, I guess in hindsight, I remember back when he was called that, it was actually Leaki, by the way. I remember when he was called it, and I remember I'm like, okay, like once I heard how it actually was pronounced, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of cool. In hindsight, though, I can see why they changed it. Because you probably got a bunch of people who don't know how to say it and would just call him Leaky all the time.
Yeah.
That would not have been a good career move.
No. Leaky as your tribal chief? No, thank you. No.
You called it before I fucking hit record. This is already off the rails.
I told you we're both way too ADHD for this.
Yeah, this is a recipe for a beautiful disaster. Okay. Gotta try to get this on some. Okay, let's okay. Let's get this thing started here. I'll start this, I guess, officially start this off with sort of my pattern for how I've started this off with previous episodes is a lot of people, whenever they do these, I guess, sort of behind the curtain interview style shows, they kind of start from the beginning of the run onward. I want to go back a little farther than the beginning. Before the whole like Fed shit was known to you, what kind of hobbies and shit were you into before? Like, what were you doing before that?
Nothing really. Like, I mean, like I watched a lot of sports.
Okay.
I was married with a baby, so
fair.
And then I started watching wrestling again.
Okay.
And then I became obsessed.
Yeah. So you said got back into wrestling. So like I'm guessing there was kind of a split.
Yeah,
from between like when you
to 24.
Okay. So I guess the first run of watching wrestling, like how did you discover it the first time around?
So my sister had this crush on this boy, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was obsessed with wrestling. So then she talked my parents into buying all the pay-per-views.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we would do on Saturday nights.
All right. Just doing her research for her little crush, huh?
Yeah, well, he would come over to the house.
Ah, gotcha.
But HBK was our dude.
Hey, that's a good one. I remember it's funny, I remember my first WrestleMania was 21.
Mm-hmm.
And that show, Shawn Michaels wrestled Kurt Angle, and I remember Shawn was coming down to the ring, and my dad was like, "I can't fucking stand this guy."
No.
My dad is very much he came from that like 80s period. So like he was into your like Ultimate Warriors and shit. So, when Shawn Michaels came around and first started getting big, a lot of the male fans really didn't like him because he kind of was the pretty boy shtick. They didn't like that.
I love Shawn Michaels.
All the girls loved him though. So yeah. The two things I remember the most, the two people my dad hated the most that night were Shawn Michaels and John Cena.
Yeah, I'm definitely a Cena fan. I like Cena. I always have.
I wasn't really exposed to Cena much until he moved to Raw that year because I didn't have the SmackDown channel back then. I only had the Raw channel, so I was all into like, Evolution and Edge and Kane and Jericho and
Kane is my dude.
Kane is my first wrestling action figure was Kane. I still have it somewhere.
Yeah, me too. With my son plays with it in the bath.
Nice. I had this really bad habit with all of my wrestling figures. I like to draw on them when I was a kid, so it's kind of defaced a little.
Yeah.
But
being from Knoxville, I have to love Kane. He's my mayor. I love it.
That's still so weird, isn't it? Like,
and he is huge. So my mom, she works in politics, and I went to an event one time with her, and this man is massive. I was whoa.
Isn't he like on TV, a legit 7 foot or something, or like close to it, like
right at 7
up
feet
there
tall.
in the, like he's a big boy.
Yeah. Well, anybody's gonna look big standing next to Shawn.
Yeah.
So like on TV, you can't really tell how big he is, especially when he does stuff with like Taker, because Taker's like 6'9".
Yeah, like they're about the same.
He doesn't look that massive.
But to us normies, he's a damn giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kane was always one. I was always just so. I mean, he was like the horror movie monster, and it was convenient that same year that I got hooked, he did See No Evil. Hooked, pun intended.
I don't actually think I've ever seen that movie.
Oh, I've seen most of the first one, and it's a trip. It's got some. It did have like some death scenes that really stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, I'm making a point not to watch the WWE movies because they're typically trash.
A lot of them are. I think I guarantee if I went back and watched the first See No Evil now, it would probably be way worse than I remember it. But yeah, I remember I remember when they made this. I remember
that superstars have been in that have been good are The Princess Bride and a lot of the movies that Kevin Nash has done.
Kevin Nash, yeah.
Like, he's
Kevin Nash is the dude. Kevin Nash is the dude.
And everybody's like, but The Rock's a great actor. No, The Rock plays The Rock in every movie.
The Rock is an okay actor.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally just himself. And like, I remember I saw a clip of one of the Fast and Furious movies when he was doing those. They didn't call him by his character name in the title of the clip. And this was an official channel. They didn't call him by his character name like they did all the other characters in the movie. No, they called him Dwayne Johnson.
That's great. I do love him as the little guardian guy in Moana. What's his name? Shit.
Oh, Maui?
Yes.
I got a friend who is literally a spitting image of Maui.
I love it.
It's kind of weird.
I love hearing The Rock sing those songs. It's the best.
It's probably the one time that he did a movie where it just wasn't him. And now they're making a live action one where it's going to become that probably.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he playing Maui in the movie?
I assume so. Because he's all over. He's the one that announced the movie, so I assume he's probably going to be reprising the role. So, yeah, I assume he'll probably be taking it up.
Facebook, but, yeah, you see those rumor movies all the time. So
yeah. Yeah. I'll tell you who's another couple of good wrestlers turned actors. I've actually been impressed with Cena and Batista in their acting.
I've heard that Batista, a lot of his more recent movies have been really good.
He's been kind of a late bloomer. When he first started, he was kind of meh, but then he started getting traction. Cena's fucking killed it, though.
I've heard that too.
He's like his Peacemaker stuff was epic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard that, and then heard that because Batista basically just plays Batista in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's just a big motherfucker.
To an extent, it's almost like if you remember his run that he was doing with Eddie before Eddie died, where he was like, the kind of the big bulky guy, but could be humorous.
Lovable.
Yeah. He kind of plays that lovable badass that it's like, you can't help but love him, but he could rip your throat out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. So what kind of made you fall out with wrestling for that time period?
Because it wasn't cool for girls to watch wrestling.
Oh, yeah? It was like a peer pressure thing or something?
Mm-hmm. I just got made fun of all the time.
So, okay, yeah, pretty much kind of that. No, when I had stopped watching for a couple of years because it wasn't entertaining for a period. I think I want to say it was like 2008. I had cut off for a couple of years because it was just not fun to watch.
Quit. Yeah, about 2007.
Yeah, it was. It just wasn't. It wasn't good. So, did you get into Feds before or after you started getting back into watching?
Right about the same time.
Oh, okay. So let's kind of jump into that then.
Yeah, I joined. Well, back then it was called Revolution. It was just called like WWE Revolution, I believe. I don't remember. Busy Bee would tell you better than I would because they hated me there.
Okay.
There were 3 women that ran it, and they hated me because the girls in the group hated me. But like me and Al and BZ, and then one other who I'm not going to talk about for reasons. That they got me into it, and then I met Daniel Saint.
Okay. Man,
And
he's one
when,
I want to get on and talk to. I just reconnected with him recently.
he's so good. Like him and I, like we like not we didn't really have a falling out or whatever, but just when I left EFED and dated Ace the douchebag, we just had a falling out, and then he got married, but the character development of the goddess back in 2016, 2017, that was all Daniel Saint. A little bit Adam Hawkins, but mostly Daniel Saint.
Okay.
And I have to give Sherry Thomas credit too. She was like, when I first met her, she goes, "You have got to pick something. You can't have all these different ideas in the goddess. Pick something."
Oh man, she was someone who, again, another one I need to get on here, and she just came back to Facebook recently, it's easier. Yeah. It's easier. I have her number, but I can never remember phone numbers. I'm way easier keeping up with people on Messenger and shit.
Yeah.
I gotta get her on too sometime, because that'd be a fun one. When I had first started doing stuff in IW, she was actually one of my first matches.
Same.
No shit.
Yeah, she was my first feud in IW.
We didn't have like a full-on feud. It was kind of, we were sort of an accessory to a story she was doing with Applin.
Oh, the one where she gets kidnapped?
Yeah, it was that one. We came in, let's see, me and when I had come into IW, I got thrown into a faction with Daniel Saint, Sebastian Saint, and Ethan Carnage. And we were calling ourselves Rapture. And me and Sebastian were in a tag match with her and Dyer. And her first introduction to me was a ridiculously stupid and horrid 13-minute promo.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She's the one that told me, Lauren, stop doing my promos. Stop it.
Oh, you were one of the ones who did live.
I did. And I would do it for live. Ever. Like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's bad. Like, I go back and watch some of my stuff that'll randomly pop up. Like, my ex has a lot of my promos because he would edit them for me. And to be a dickhead, he'll randomly send me one. This is why our relationship didn't work out. Like, okay, bruh. I think our relationship didn't work out because you cheated on me with every tale you could find. And anyway, so he'll randomly send them to me, and I'm like, oh, that's cringe. That's cringe. Yeah. I don't suggest going back and watching. Like, some people have been good from like day one. Some people like me don't go back and watch your shit. It's cringy.
I'm a weird case because a lot of people have said, like, well, not a lot of people. Some people have kind of said I was one of those rare cases that kind of showed something from the start. I cannot go back and look at anything I did. And like it's just like, I look back at a lot of my shit and I'm like, the fuck was wrong with you, you fucking idiot?
Okay, well, if this tells you anything, I used to start every promo with "Hey y'all." Every single one, and it was awful. And that's one reason that Alicia Maglio calls me the goddess, or however she says it.
Oh,
this is bad. It's bad.
Humble beginnings, fun times, right?
Oh god, the worst.
Yeah,
the worst.
There was someone else in my humble beginnings who attached themselves to me like a leech, and wouldn't let go for
Stink
a
on
couple
shit.
years. Someone we happen to have a bit of a shared history with.
Oh, gross! No.
Perfect segue, am I right? That was a pretty good segue. I'm proud of that one.
That was good. That was good. Okay, so before we get into him and the goddess, let's talk about what he tried to do to the goddess. Okay. So he wanted me to be Jack Arson's fucking like manager / valet.
I love getting to hear this side of the story because I only ever heard one side of the story for years.
So,
and I never saw the day. I never thought I'd see the day.
He did not walk across the state of Tennessee to come to me. He got 20 miles from Memphis, and he called like the crisis hotline or whatever, and had a van come pick his ass up 20 miles from Memphis. And he rode a crisis van from Memphis to Knoxville. But apparently, he told everybody, including Justin Klein, because this is my favorite part of the story, that he walked across the state of Tennessee. I don't even know how long it is. I know it's like a 6-hour drive. If you drive from Knoxville to Memphis, it's like a 6.5-hour drive. He told everybody that he walked all the way to Knoxville and then slept in a gazebo. So Thomas Austin and Justin Klein refer to me as Gazebo Girl. That's me. So, but before that, when he was still out in West Tennessee, he decided he wanted to change the goddess into, you ready for it? Get ready. Felicia Fahrenheit. Oh. He sends me a script that he wants me to read.
Okay, this is actually funny. You want to hear his side of that script thing?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Go ahead.
His words was, if I'm remembering correctly, something to the effect of, she was so shit, I had to write for her, and she couldn't make it obvious that she was reading it. She couldn't make it obvious that she wasn't reading a script.
That's because Felicia Fahrenheit is a shit fucking idea.
Oh, shit.
God, I hate that motherfucker. Because he was such a pathetic excuse for a human. I'm just going to go ahead and go put it out there because everybody knows about it at this point anyway. And those that don't, well, somebody always brings it up. He's such a shit human. When I broke up with him because, okay, so he relapsed, right? And my thing about addiction is if I'm with you and you relapse and you want to get clean, I will stay with you and I will help you. I will do whatever I can for you. Because I have addiction in my family. My dad pulled himself up by his bootstrap and got himself sober. I will help you. But if you lied to me, tell me you didn't relapse, deuces. So he relapsed on meth, right? Mm-hmm. I don't hear from him for like 2 weeks. Apparently he's in some rehab getting clean, whatever. Because when he went to the hospital, he tested positive for meth. Mm. Well, I move on. Start talking to Ace Dalton, whatever. He gets so mad. He sends Mike Tom a picture that I sent him in confidence when we were dating. And then Mike Tom posted on XWE, and then Huck's dumbass left it up for 6 hours.
If you're watching this, hi, Mike.
you doing?
Fellow co-host on Shooting the Shite.
Fuck him, man. Like, see, and that's what I don't understand. Like, he has a daughter, right? That's what I don't understand about these dudes that pass girls' nudes around. You wouldn't want that done to your kid. So, like, what the hell?
Yeah, he was
He was a
he was a wild case. You know, there's things that there are things that I saw that I'm not sure are like public knowledge that I don't put out because of what it was and how it will affect the other parties.
Right.
If it gets out.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You put a naked picture of me up on a website. So anything I tell anybody, you deserve that shit.
No. It's like I'll talk about it in like private scenarios just because it's like, you know, in confidence. But when I say there's things I don't say about him, it's not to protect him. It's for the sake of the people that he was after at the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was a douchebag and a half.
I remember like he would, you know, he'd have these like stints of, you know, when I first met him, I think this was during one of his sober spells, I want to say. Because he came off like he came off like a relatively normal dude when I met him.
Uh-huh.
And you know, we did some pretty cool shit. He was my first match in IW. And then we did like 3 or 4 matches, and the first 2 sucked. The third one was great. That was kind of the one that got you know, Matt and Nick and them looking at me. So but
those are my dudes.
Yeah, same. But then like, I don't know, a month or 2 after I met him, is like he started kind of going down the tubes again. He started going after Sherry for shit.
He was always obsessed with her.
Yeah, like they did not get along at all. And they had started beefing, and then it became clear he was going off the rails, and then he vanished for months.
Oh, if he ever
came back and then he do what?
If he ever comes back to EFED, I want a match.
Oh boy.
I don't care where it is.
It's been a couple years now, so I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever be that.
I've heard he's dead.
I've heard similar, but I can't say for sure. There was actually something recently. So for some reason, I still have a fucking like Snapchat that I never use.
Yeah. I don't ever get on Snapchat either. Like ever.
But it'll like, I have like the pop-up notifications show up on me from time to time. And there was a period of time where I had his phone number. That is like how fucking attached we became at one point, where we had each other's fucking numbers.
He's so codependent on people.
Yeah.
He just attaches to everybody.
Yeah. So the number I have, I don't know if it's still his number or not, but you know, it's still saved in my contacts under his name. So I'm just like scrolling my phone one day. I don't remember what I'm doing, whether I'm like watching videos or scrolling Facebook or whatever, maybe editing a promo or something. And then all of a sudden I see one of these like pop notifications on Snapchat. One of your contacts is now on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And it's his name.
And
I'm like,
No, thank
Please
you.
fuck no. And then that I pressed on it. I wanted to see if this was legit. And I pressed on it, and it had a different name on it once I clicked on it. So I'm like, is this not his number anymore?
Right.
So I'm like, I don't think I want to find out.
Don't go down
I'm
that
not
rabbit.
going out
Okay.
of my way to find out. It was actually funny, bringing up Mike earlier. I told them about it. I think I told them about it, him and Josh about it whenever we were doing a live show a month or two ago. No, we talked about it in our group chat one day, and I had mentioned that his name popped up in my Snapchat contacts, and he immediately jumps on it and says, "Oh, you should message him." And I'm like, no. And then he's like, well, give me the name. I'll message him.
No.
I'm like, no, I'm not doing that either because I can't be sure it's actually him. I don't want you talking to like some random that has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, no. No, the last time I heard from him was about, I don't know, probably like 2 years ago or something. And he was working the program and making amends. So he apologized for what happened, whatever. I'm
Around
not
what? Do you remember around when that was?
Christmas 2 years ago?
Christmas 2 years ago. I think that was that might have been around. No, it had been longer since I had heard from him at that point. It had been
I know that
earlier
he,
that year.
I just come back around EFED.
Mm-hmm.
Or I was thinking about coming back to EFED. So maybe it was a year ago. Because I didn't come back to EFED till I left ACE for good. And that was like a year ago. Last month. So, but anyway, then he told me he was making amends, but told me he was also microdosing. I don't know anything about drugs. I was like, what the fuck is microdosing? So I looked it up. And it's where you get these capsules and you put a little bit of meth in it. Not enough to get you high, but enough to where your body doesn't go into withdrawals. I was like, so you're still using. Why are you talking to me? Bye. And I hadn't heard from him.
Is that so I've never heard of that. Is that like a form of getting up, like weaning off or something? Or is that like an official thing?
Kind of like you know, some people use like Suboxone and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that their body doesn't go into the withdrawals, but they use it under really close doctor supervision.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like that, but like the redneck way to do it because you can't afford to go to the doctor. Or what? But yeah, he was like, yeah, I'd been microdosing. And I had to look it up. I was like, what?
I think one of the last times I had spoken to him was he was in IW at the time. I wasn't. The big Exodus thing, I'm sure you've heard a ton about it. Had already happened. So I wasn't there anymore, but he had gone back. 5-6 months after. He was part of that whole group that left and then went back.
Right.
A little bit later when the Fed that had gotten started got sick of him or whatever happened there that caused him not to be there anymore. I don't know. And he was telling me he was doing a thing with a guy, and I think they had started legit beefing, and it was someone else who had, I guess, kind of had some addiction issues. And he said he was gonna do something where he was going to pretend to do meth to fuck with him.
That's so awful.
Well, the twist is, it actually wasn't fake.
He did drugs on camera?
I don't know if he actually did them on camera or if he was planning to do it but got caught before he could. Because, like I said, I wasn't a witness to it. I wasn't there. I was blackballed from IW at this point. But he was always talking about how, like, oh yeah, I've got this thing. I've got like this fake meth. I'm gonna fuck with this guy, and then it was found out it wasn't fake. It was very much real. He had relapsed again, and the girl he was with left him. He then proceeded to do what he does to everyone who says they're sick of him and leave him, paint them as a psycho. He said something like she stole his car, stole a bunch of his shit, and was like just being weird. And then he went and checked himself into a place, and then the last time I had spoken to him, we had maybe talked for like 5 minutes, and then the place he was staying at, someone had come down and yelled at him and made him get off the phone because he was being too loud. And then I never heard from him again.
Yeah.
What a fucking saga.
I can't. Like, it's one thing to relapse, but it's another thing to use drugs to do that to somebody else. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, he's just the thing that always bothered me with him was he was one of those what I like to call terminally E-fed.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He was a terminal E-fedder. Everything he did was based around something to enhance Jack Arson, the character.
I hate Jack Arson so much.
His thing was at one point he's like, I remember one point he looks at me and goes, oh, the real me is dead. I'm just Jack Arson now. That was probably the meth talking. Yeah, he's like, oh, I am dead. I am Jack Arson is me now. Like, I'm the real person isn't even here anymore. That's one. That's
yeah, and then when he killed off Jack Arson, he wanted Angel and the Goddess to link up. I was like, no.
How many times did he try to kill off Jack Arson in place of Angel? Like, he did it at least 2 times in the time I knew. He did it like 2 or 3 times in the time that I knew him alone.
Yeah.
From like 2018 on. He had done it like 2 or 3 times after that. How many more times has he tried to do that shit?
Well, and I think he reverse did it right before I met him in E-Fed. Like, Arson killed Angel.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it was
none of his characters were ever like, he would occasionally do good work.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when he was on, but when he was off, it was, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, he was one of those.
I remember one time, like back in like 2020, me and him, we had a match and we blew the fucking page up that week. We did like fucking 5 or 6 a piece, like 10 altogether between us. Like, we blew the fucking page up. And it was like back to back fucking like crazy shit. And then like we were supposed to have like a big series. And then we ended up like blowing all our good shit in the first match, and we still had like 2 more to go.
Yeah.
Cause he just wanted to go ham right from the jump. And that was before I began really appreciating the art of a long-term story. So I'm like, okay, fuck it, let's blow it up.
Yeah, you gotta pace yourself.
Yeah, now I'm not like that now. Now I'm like, let's iron this shit out.
Yeah.
I swear, if he ever does end up jumping back into this fucking pool one day, we're never going to hear the end of it for this.
Well, don't do fuck shit, and you don't have to
play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yes. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Oh.
He's lucky. Honestly, he's lucky I didn't prosecute him for what he did.
Yeah, he'd get weird. He'd get beyond weird. So, personally, no, if he's not dead, whatever he's doing, I hope he's having a damn good time doing it, and it's keeping him occupied enough to stay away. Yeah, like just whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Please.
Eating pizza out of dumpsters. Oh yeah, that's like story.
Like maybe like, you know, either you're dumpster diving for dinner, or you cleaned your shit up and you're a fucking millionaire somewhere. Whatever the fuck you're doing, just keep doing it.
Stay away from me.
It's probably me too.
Stay the fuck away. Thank you.
I don't want none of this. I've had my share of you. No.
Yeah. He's just a lot.
Yeah, he really was.
You know, there's people in EFED now that I just don't fuck with because, bruh, you're just a lot.
Yeah, like he's probably the biggest reason why I didn't really interact with people for so long, because I'm like, fuck, is everyone like this?
Yeah.
Is everyone this crazy?
A lot of people are like that, like not to the extreme that he is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our little group, you know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Our little group are the good ones.
Our breakfast club.
Yeah, those are our people.
Yeah.
Like.
Shouts out.
Yeah, I love them because I can be my ADHD self with them and they don't judge me.
Yeah.
I can be completely off the wall and they're just like, aw, and like pat me on the head and go about their day. Aw, Lauren's being ADHD again.
Yeah, I feel that. The same
like I spin out because somebody makes it personal. And I film like a 6-minute fucking video I show y'all, and y'all are like, yeah, don't post that.
No, leave it alone.
That's not a good life choice, Lauren.
No. Maybe pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I sent it to David Jones, the one that I'm talking about, and he was like, post it. I was like, okay.
I think I remember this one.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't post this.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick and Alicia were both like, I don't know that that's what you need to be doing. Probably not the best idea.
Fucked up thing. I think I might have been one of the people who said, fuck it, go for it.
Yeah, you were high, though. I don't listen to you when you're high.
That's a smart move.
That's friendship rule number 1.
Yeah.
If anybody in that group is high, I don't listen to them.
No. We just point and laugh.
Mm-hmm. Aw. He's out of his mind today. It's okay. He'll be okay later. He's got to go to work. Yeah. He'll be all right later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a trip.
That was fun. How long did we talk about Jack Arson? Like 30 minutes?
That was, I think about almost 30.
Yeah, because we're at like 50 at this point.
Yeah. So let's see. Where else can I go here? When we'll kind of go back to, I guess sort of early stuff a bit. Whenever you had started, when was there like a moment that kind of clicked for you where you're like, okay, I think I can keep up with this. Because there's some people who get into it and then, you know, they're like maybe get a few months and they're like, you know what, this isn't for me. I'm fuck this. And then there's some like us who are like, this is the fucking bomb. Let's go.
I think when I realized people weren't just being nice, like I was okay at this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want you to hype me up. If I suck, I want you to tell me I suck. Because I'm not going to go out here and make a fool of myself. You know the ones we make fun of that are awful, but nobody has the balls to tell them they're awful. Or they think we're kidding when we do tell them they're awful.
Yeah.
You know the ones. I never wanted to be that person. But that moment for me was probably when I had my feud with Jay Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know Sherry's not going to sugarcoat shit.
No.
If you're garbage, she's going to tell you you're garbage.
Oh, yeah.
Well, her
Absolutely.
and we just kept going back and forth because we both, I don't know if she was working from home at the time or what was going on, but I was a stay-at-home mom and she was able to post a lot. So we just went back and forth. And she took me, oh my God, did she take me to Fact Check City more than once? So that was fun. But like, I came into EFED at the perfect time because I'm just going to be honest. And this is going to piss some people off, but that's okay because that's what I do. The females in EFED now, they're so worried about keeping up with the boys. They care so much. We just did it.
Like, yeah, I mean, you kind of had to. Like,
yeah,
you can't worry. You can't worry about trying to keep up. You just kind of gotta.
Well, like we were talking last night in our group chat, and Alicia made a good point. We don't think we're special because we've got ovaries. None of us ever did.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, Alicia White, Jay Diamond, the Monarch, and then when I was in IW, Kelly Steen wasn't in there, but I think she was in XWE at the time. So I don't want to not give her credit for what she's done because she's great.
Yeah, I got to work with her a time or two. She was so much fun.
Yeah, like I've never had any like personal interactions with her, but I've heard she's great.
Yeah,
like she's just a really good fucking person.
Yeah, she's great, just all around. Like she was fun to work. She was fun to work with a time or two.
And her and Mia are close.
Yeah.
So
I think they've met personally a time or two.
And I know that her and Matt are close too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but like those were the girls that were in EFED when I came into EFED.
Yeah.
So I was really, really fucking lucky that I didn't have to deal with some of the bullshit that the women that are in it now. That's why like we distance ourselves because we're not going to put up with that shit. Like I didn't have to worry about Jade or Alicia bringing up my kids. I didn't have to worry about them bringing up my abusive fucking ex. Because they just didn't cross that line. That just wasn't something we did.
Yeah.
Like, it was just an unwritten rule, which I think it should be now because most of the women in EFED now have kids. But it was just an unwritten rule. You don't bring up kids. Okay, story time. We're going to talk about Allison Black for a minute.
Okay.
She brought up my kids. One time. It's been like 6 years ago. But I annihilated her for it. Because it just wasn't something that was done.
Mm-hmm.
You just didn't do it. And like now it's like these women want to prove themselves to the men so bad. Like, why?
Yeah. It's worth it. And by the way, I bet if McLean's watching this right now, he's gonna hear that name and say, "Oh, it's it's," because he always said that he he told me once, and I don't know if he was joking or not. He probably wasn't. When he was booking IW, he wanted to do a story where we were like long lost twins.
And
Because
Angel was another one that was good.
I didn't really have much exposure to her.
Me either. But like, I always heard that she was really good and she was a really, really good competitor. But like, that would be
maybe I'll just have to go dig through the archive page one day and just like check out like some of these people that aren't around anymore and just be like, what was it like?
Yeah, they were good, and it wasn't. I mean, there was drama, obviously.
I mean, yeah, you can't go too long without EFED drama.
It wasn't like it is now. That's why I'm real selective about who I fuck with in EFED.
Yeah. Now it's like shit can get explosive so fast.
Like, I'll be friendly with you, but I'm not gonna be your best friend.
Yeah, it's like there's a fucking trial period here, bud.
Yeah.
Serious trial
I'm
period.
like Netflix. You get 30 days. If you do some fuck shit in 30 days, I don't want anything to do with you.
No.
Like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's like same pretty much.
Yeah.
There's like people message me for like the first time or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I'll just keep it simple. If we click, we click. If we don't, then I'm just gonna kind of let this one fade off into the void.
Well, it was like my friendship with you. We were in the pro chat. So I got to know you there, and I was like, okay, he's a good one. Same with Casey Campbell. Like, I had never had a conversation with that kid in my life. I was like, oh, okay, he's a good one too.
Yeah. There was a lot of people that were in the pro chat that like I'd been around a bit but had never really spoken to, and then all of a sudden just one day I just got a fucking wild hair and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna start talking for a change. Because I had this this is something that Dark and Graves always said this about me. I was always the mutest motherfucker he had ever known. I would be added to group chats or added to calls, and more often than not, if it was in a text chat, I would just sit there and read and lurk and never contribute anything. If it was a video call, everyone else would be laughing and talking and having a good time, and I'd just be here like,
yeah,
and just not doing anything.
Well,
and then one day it just fucking like changed out.
Well, like, I was stabbed in the back so much before I left EFED, and I know part of that was who I was with. Because people hated Ace Dalton. Hated him. And now I see why.
And then by association.
Yep.
Fair.
And then I came back.
Because that's kind of how it was with, bringing who back up. Like, that was kind of yeah.
It was weird because I got close to Beezy and I got close to Matt, and all of a sudden I have friends, and it's weird to me. Like,
it's like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to like 4, 5, 6 months ago, my messenger was constantly just inactive. No one ever talked to me. Now I've got like so many unread messages from like group chats and private chats. I'm like, the fuck, people are talking to me. What is going on here?
Oh no, I'm not like that. The only people that try to talk to me are people that I will talk to, because I think people have realized that if I don't know you, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Like, I talk in the RPW chat, and then I talk in our chat, and I rarely talk to people like one-on-one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like people.
Yeah, like normally most of the time it's either if I'm messaging someone personally, it's because I've got something that specifically needs to be said to them and them alone.
Yeah.
And it's usually just nothing. Well, sometimes it's bullshit because like I'm just like, you know, I've hit you with random out of nowhere shit that really just didn't fucking matter.
Usually
It
when
happens. Yeah, it's usually the most of it, but that only happens to the people who I know are like, you know, okay, they've seen my bullshit, they can handle it.
No, my favorite are the voice clips I get from you where you're just like cracking up and I can barely understand what you're saying. Those are my favorite.
I don't know what comes over me in those.
Chat yesterday. I don't remember what it was, but you were just dying.
Oh my god!
And
I think I remember
the best.
You were talking.
I remember
the gist of it. Where like,
but I don't remember what.
Was it the? I know yesterday the big thing we were talking about a lot in there was the that 2K character I made.
That's what it was.
At it. Yeah.
Man,
I remember
dude.
another.
Man
Yeah, man, dude. I cannot wait to debut that character.
Me too.
Like,
I love that
I showed him
work into him.
Oh, you haven't even seen. You don't even know.
I'm so excited.
I've got something. I'm gonna do like. I've got 2 promos saved. I might make one more for it, and then that's it. Because like this is
you've already cut promos for this thing.
Yeah, I've got 2 saved. One is like
the entrance. I didn't know you had like actual promos.
Yeah. One of them, the final one, the one I'm saving for last, it's got like a full entrance music, and then it like cuts to like actual like standing in the ring, and like it's got the voiceover and shit, and like it's full production. Another one's more basic, and then I'm contemplating doing like sort of like a trailer type video where it's like kind of like one of these like, you know, a vignette style things again, and just kind of teasing it. But I don't know, that one's gonna be a fun one to mess around with.
That's awesome.
But there was another interaction in there that you were talking about, like someone had shared an indecent image with you.
Oh, that guy. Oh yeah, it's Pickle.
Yeah, dick pic of his pickle, and that cracked the fuck out of me.
Oh my god, it was so bad.
String of words. That string of words. Dick pic of his pickle. I don't know why. I just lost it. I lost it.
Yeah. Well, okay. So backstory with that was, it was back, not this past Hall of Fame for EWM, but the one before. And the dude was like, I should be in the Hall of Fame. And of course, Robbie Cutthroat had to interject himself and was like, you're garbage or something. And I agreed. Well, then he brought up what Arson did to me. And then Shooter went in on him. Shooter was like, because Shooter's my big brother.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny with him? In character, I give him so much shit. I have never spoken to him before.
What? See, okay.
Like in character, the character Shooter J and TJ Blair, the characters do not get along at all.
Oh no, the Goddess and Shooter J hate each other.
But like personally, I've never uttered a single word to this dude behind the curtain.
Oh no,
once.
He cracks me the fuck up. So since we've been talking about the beginnings of the Goddess,
Uh-huh.
So after I was in RPW, I went to Asylum, which was under the IW umbrella. Like this was at the time that there was Alpha, Omega, was it Delta? Was that the shit?
Mm-hmm.
Shit brand?
Yeah, that was the shit brand at the time, I believe.
Yep, Delta, and then there was the Asylum, which was literally a mental institution. That was the premise for Asylum.
I remember. Yeah, I remember that because there was a period of time where I remember there was a period of time where they were using the Asylum name, but it was just as a name. There wasn't like any gimmick behind it. But then at some point they tried to bring it back with the full like gimmick thing. I actually think Arson was the one behind it, trying to bring it back with the whole
like that was
actual legitimate Asylum thing.
The Asylum was my fucking home.
Really?
Like,
oh, okay. Okay, now we're getting interesting.
Yeah. And
you were thrown into the Asylum.
Yeah,
the legit
so this
Asylum.
Is okay, a lot of people don't know the actual backstory of the goddess. They just think
that's what we're here for.
It's a name that I use. So the goddess is an ancient deity who took over the body of a 20-something redheaded Southern sweetheart. So there's like this power struggle. I come off like this sweet, angelic fucking redhead from the South, and then I open my mouth, and it's the goddess.
Uh-huh.
So
that's interesting.
I was a debutante. I had money. And then the goddess took over my body. So the wardens and stuff used me for my money.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There are very few people left in EFED that know that backstory.
Huh.
Thank you, Daniel Saint. Because that was him.
Of course that would be him.
Him and Raw.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's nice.
Yeah. But like a lot of people are like, why do you call yourself the goddess? That's stupid. Well, there's a backstory to it.
Yeah. Now the world now if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah.
You ought to just clip this and just send it to people who ask.
It's this. This is why.
Yeah, like.
But anyway, back to Shooter. Sorry. ADHD.
Okay, yeah.
Here
we go. Train wreck.
He was my first feud in the Asylum.
Okay.
If you ever have seen him comment something about his break lines, that's why. Because the story was in the results was that I almost killed Shooter because I cut his break lines. Because you know that's the redneck shit. That's what rednecks do.
Yeah,
they cut the break lines.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that happens.
That is my backstory with Shooter J. The first interaction I ever had with him, I cut his break lines. Huh. So, like, if he gets sassy in the comments, I'm always like, remember what I'm capable of. I almost killed you once. I'll do it again.
Fuck around and find out.
Yeah. Yeah, before that was
Need a reminder?
Before that was a thing.
Oh, man.
Because, you know, that's the thing that everybody likes to say now. Fuck around and find out.
Yeah, now literally.
If fuck around and find out was a person.
Voila.
I miss being that evil. That was fun times.
Oh, man.
Every female in EFED hated me at that point. Because I was awful. Like, I was... Like, the Asylum was... I ran that shit. Like, and that was the story. I had the money, so I ran that shit.
Mm-hmm. See, I feel like if I would have been around at the time, I would have been like, this is fucking... Like, I'm thinking about it now, and I'm just like, fuck. That just sounds
That
like
was
fun.
before people really had like. That was back when we had like full ass like bios.
Uh-huh.
I hate that the old bio page for IW is gone because it's all. If it's archived somewhere, it's all there. The whole story is all there.
I don't.
The only person I can think of that might still have it is Adam Hawkins, and he doesn't talk to me anymore.
I don't know.
I doubt Saint still has it. But there was a whole bio page for Asylum at one point.
Oh, okay. For Asylum specifically.
Well, like we all put it on the IW bio.
Oh, okay.
Page. Because a lot of us that were in the
what was
Asylum,
it called? It was called what? iWikipedia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That might still be up, actually.
Well, I think they started a new one.
Oh shit!
Because I think I would look.
Because I know when I had gone back to IW like last October, before I had my little falling out for a few months, I went into the
I would, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's the one.
And I know the thing is like I don't know. Because the one that was around when I started in IW, that's the one that's still up. When that one was around in like 2018. Well, so if there was like one that was like axed before my time,
yeah,
then okay, but I don't know.
And I think that when you get an account completely removed, I think it removes everything you've ever posted.
Yeah, because it's funny. I might have told you about this once. One of my friends who used to do IW every now and then with me. There was a time
the one that called it about Cody Petty. Is this the friend we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah. The story of it was he was doing Delta at the time, but they needed people to come up on the Alpha card to do a match with the Petties. So they got him and oh god, who did they bring up to be it was a one-off partner. They just like mishmashed him and someone else together. I think it was I want to say, and if Daniel was here, he would flip the fuck out when he hears this name. I think it was this guy Roy Cease.
Who?
Okay, yeah, you wouldn't know who it is. If DJB was here, he would know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. And he would probably have some words.
Oh yeah,
that's another one.
The Petties too.
Because
that was my first tag team.
That Roy guy, because that Roy guy was a real piece of fucking work.
Yeah,
from what I remember.
First tag team that Goddess ever was in was with Nick Petty.
Wow. But it was Cease and my buddy Thane Bell doing a tag match with the Petties, and Cody had posted, and he like talks like 5 miles a minute. He's like,
oh god,
it reminds me of that scene from fucking George of the Jungle where he discovers coffee for the first time.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I think of. Just jabba 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 jabba
jabba. Yes. It's so bad.
That's what I thought of. So I'm talking to Thane one day, and he's like, dude, he talks like he's snorting fucking coke. And then he goes, I just gave myself an idea. I'll call you back later. So then he goes and I don't remember what it was yet. He had like this this wasn't an arson thing where he said it was fake drugs when it was actually real. It was like some kind of, I don't know, like some kind of like something like seasoning or something. I don't know exactly, or like some like packet of powder or whatever. And he does this, like he starts off the video where he's talking normal, and then he's like, you know what? No, this isn't right. I gotta match the energy. Comes back up and he's got this white shit all over his face and just blasts off.
Awesome.
He never got back to Alpha after that.
Yeah.
They never brought him back.
You ready for the tag team name?
Let's hear it.
Pretty Petty.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I like
because
that.
I was petty as fuck too. Like, if you push my buttons, man, I used to. Mm-hmm. I would shoot on you. I don't care who you were.
Yeah. I had a little
Jerry
bit
Springer
of
died.
What?
Sorry, I got a notification. Jerry Springer died at 79.
You're shitting me, really?
That's what it just said.
Hold on.
I can't look it up because
this is the epitome of fucking ADHD right here.
Sorry.
Oh my god!
I told you.
What? Yo,
Heard it here
what
first.
the shit? Wow. Okay, that's
all
a thing.
All of our like childhood memories are dying.
That's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Huh. Where were we?
We were talking about Pretty Petty and the Petties.
Oh yeah, Pretty Petty.
And cocaine.
Yeah.
Cocaine. We were talking about cocaine, TJ.
Yeah. Yeah. Motherfucking cocaine.
We talked about drugs for like 90% of this.
Yeah. Drugs have always had something to do with it, whether it be meth or pot or coke.
What's funny is I've never done any of it. That's all I'm talking about are drugs.
Yeah. Wild shit. I had a couple experiences with Nick Petty a time or two. There was a period that he and Justin Klein were doing a tag team, IWPD, and they were cops. I shit you not. They were cops.
This is the first I'm hearing of this ever.
No shit, really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. So, I remember this stuff so well because I feuded with them frequently in this spell with Filth, which was me, Nick, Alicia, and TJ Vegas. I think the Filth lineup where we had
one, right?
Which
one's the creepy one?
That would be Joey, but he wasn't doing Joey at the time. He was doing it was kind of a he started doing Joey Taylor a few months into it, but at the time he was still like calling himself TJ Vegas.
Okay.
And it was like very different from the version of TJ Vegas that he started doing in the more recent years of like doing his raps and stuff.
Okay.
But it was like, you know, kind of that deathmatch vibe character sort of thing. Just without the masks and paint and shit. I don't. Where we had more people than IWPD had, IWPD, it was only like Klein, Petty, and then Tyler Throne had come in for a period. So it was them three versus like us four. Funny enough, I think it was me and Alicia were kind of the de facto tag team. Picture that.
Was she the stabby bitch?
Yes.
Okay.
She had the knife and I had she had the big knife and I had the big meat hook.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
It was fun.
My favorite, like most recent promo, like creepy promo, like, you know that I love Casey Campbell, but
Yeah.
nothing is going to beat for me Alicia versus the Female Bully Club. Nothing, because that was amazing.
Oh yeah, it was
That
great.
was my favorite.
I remember one of the things we had done. Oh no, I remember who the other guy was in IWPD. Now it completely blanked my mind. It was fucking Tony Baloney.
Oh right, I do remember him.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, I forgot about him. I genuinely forgot about him. Yeah, he was in it. He was calling himself Dante DeAngelis at the time, and his gimmick in the group was he was like the private.
Talk?
No, he was the private investigator.
Oh.
He was the
undercover.
Yeah, he was like, you had your cops and then you had like the people you see on like fucking CSI and shit.
Oh,
he was he was your CSI guy.
Oh. Wow.
So I remember we had done a bunch of like crazy shit where like one of the first things we had done was at one point IWPD had kidnapped Nick and they had him held up at their compound. So all of us, Vegas, Alicia, me, Campbell, and actually TJ Carson was part of it for a short period. We didn't do much because the weird thing, Filth was huge in numbers, but a lot of us were like spread out. So Casey and Carson were on Delta. The rest of us were on Alpha. So this was like the only time we had all of us together. And they wrote this whole fucking thing out. We were on holiday break. It was like around the Thanksgiving Christmas break period. But they wrote us out our own personal fucking write-up of Filth invading the fucking IWPD compound to break Nick White out of jail. And one of the things I remember so fondly was and this became something that I have since, like, whenever I go and talk to people about like how to portray my character on shows, I say always include this one specific move. Always include cannonball moves. Because one of the spots of this whole like break-in was I cannonballed a door to break it down. Because I was the one who was like, caution to the wind, my body is a weapon.
My favorite thing, that is my favorite thing about IW, is they just make up the most random shit.
Yeah, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. The two things that were the most random shit for me that worked were the hook and the cannonballs. So I incorporated that stuff.
Move called Goddess Mode. I don't know what it is. They've never explained what the move is.
Oh my god! That makes so much sense because Nick had mentioned where he was like in the invasion things where he had mentioned yeah, he's like, did you hear what you won the match with? I said she won with Goddess Mode, whatever the fuck that is.
Whatever the fuck that is, because we don't know. Like, it's like, okay, so BZ, he always has me win. It's his little like, I don't know, like homage to Roman Reigns for me. I do Superwoman punch. That's how he has to win matches in RPW. Like, so at least I know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't know what Goddess Mode is. Somebody would have to ask James that one.
Who? Who'd you say? Oh.
James.
I might have to ask him that since he's been talking to me a lot lately.
Yeah, find out.
Be like, what? I go to him and be like, hey, what the fuck is Goddess Mode?
I need to know.
Yeah, like, and if he doesn't know, then fuck it. We'll just make something up.
Make something up.
Yeah, I'm good
because
at that. So
one of my finishing moves, it's called the Fall from Grace.
Mm-hmm.
because I love that Charlotte Flair is such a big girl, like tall wise, like not fat, but tall wise.
Yeah.
I'm not calling the queen fat because, well, she scares me. And with my luck, this would get picked up by WWE, and she would tweet about it or some shit. But I love that she does. What is it called? This is where ADHD comes in. Where she flips backwards. What's that called?
The moonsault.
Yes. God bless. It's ADHD. The ADHD.
Yep.
Like, I was like, what is it called?
Yep.
That thing.
We warned y'all. We
did. It's so bad. Can you imagine if you were high?
Oh fuck! Like you better be glad that I don't have anything strong enough to screw me up. Because like I've been kind of, I've been without for a bit because all I've got is like it's shit. So like it doesn't even help me go to sleep.
Oh,
because that's what I use it for, to help me sleep, because I have really bad insomnia.
Oh my god! So funny story, funny Lauren story, not funny goddess story. So I work at a gas station, and we have like CBD gummies, and all that CBD stuff has a little bit of THC in it.
Yeah.
This girl went out to her car. She ate the entire pack of gummies.
No.
The serving
whole
size
pack?
is half a gummy.
She ate the whole thing.
She ate the whole pack. And she had the munchies like, whoa, look at your face.
Oh, I couldn't imagine doing that.
It was awful. She came back in. She bought $97 worth of food.
In a gas station.
On her father's credit card, because she was like 19 or 20. She came back in the other night. She said, yeah, my dad got his credit card bill. I said, yeah, I bet you're not going to be eating an entire pack of CBD gummies ever again. She said, my dad said I'm not allowed to buy them. I was like, well.
Gotta use this shit responsibly.
It's my favorite work story so far.
Oh man,
like it's the best. Great.
I'll tell you what, some fucking
luckily
crazy work stories are the best.
That didn't eat any of the gummies, so like they could get her home safely and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
I was like, oh, this is not good.
I love a good crazy work story. I've got plenty.
I know.
Oh God. Imagine working in a fucking hotel at the fucking desk. You can probably imagine what kind of crazy shit I've had to put up with.
I know, but have you ever gone to work high?
Yes.
Okay,
and
so
no.
if you're recording this, I've got to go use the potty. I'll be right back. I have to. I can't help it. It's been an hour and a half, man.
Oh. Let's see. We'll totally cut this to make up for time lost. What am I into here? What is this? Okay. Interesting.
I drink way too many energy drinks, man. Way too many. That's my problem. I've started taking the no-dose stuff, though, because it comes in like 100 milligram like pills.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have to spend a shit ton of money on energy drinks because they're expensive.
So you take the little energy capsule things.
Uh-huh.
I have been waiting to find someone who takes those, because I don't know anyone who does. I've
liked it.
contemplated them before, but I've always been like one of these things. I don't know anyone who's used these, and I have no idea if they work. Last thing I want to do is get a bullshit product.
Right. I like them because, like, so it comes in a pack. So what I do is I buy them from work. It comes 3 packs of 2. So it comes with 6 tablets. Each tablet is 100 milligrams of caffeine. Typically, your energy drinks will have 200 milligrams.
Okay.
But if I take 2 tablets, I'm shaky. So I can take 1 and I'm fine. It peps me up enough to be able to go to work. Like I took 1 this morning because typically when I so obviously I've got 3 kids. They have to go to school in the mornings. But I work second shift, which is 4 p.m. to midnight. So I get the kids to daycare and school, and then I come home and I lay back down till like 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because I need my sleep. Like, Beezy makes fun of me all the time. Because he'll like text me, and I'm like, I was asleep. He's like, of course you were. I sleep a lot.
Reminds me of like you saying, sorry I didn't answer, I was asleep. And he's like, of course. That's like me and Dylan whenever I'm like high. I was like, oh, sorry, I forgot about this thing. I was probably high when you told me. He's like, you're always high. I'm like,
yeah,
you're not totally wrong.
No, my favorite ever is my very first like phone conversation with you. It was me, you, Dylan, Phil, and Casey Campbell. Yeah, we were all on the phone, and you and I just laughed at Phil for like 2 hours.
Yeah, because he's just sitting there. He had the fucking guitar, and he was just doing dumb shit.
Well, see, funny story. So Phil picks on me for being a Valley girl because I sound like cornbread, but I'm very hyper, I say like a lot. I'm very Beverly Hillbillies meets Clueless. Very much like. So I'm like Ellie Mae from Beverly Hillbillies. That's how I sound. And then I act like Cher sometimes from
Oh.
Clueless is probably before your time.
Probably, yeah. I remember Beverly Hillbillies though. I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, that's because you're from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Like I could sing the entire Beverly Hillbillies theme song. I'm not going to, but I could.
That I couldn't do. I remember it. I remember that it's a thing that exists. That's kind of about it though.
Well, growing up, like I fall asleep watching. So like the first couple of hours of Nick at Night, back when I don't even know if they do Nick at Night anymore. But the first couple of, like shows were like Family Matters and Full House.
Yeah.
Well, when I'd wake up in the middle of the night, it'd be like the Beverly Hillbillies. So when I couldn't sleep, that's what I watched.
Yeah.
Because typically I'd leave my remote, and I was like, I'm not getting up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laying right here.
Here's one. So this is something that I've always struggled with. And every time I mention something that I've like had some sort of like weird holdup with, everyone always ends up mentioning, oh, that's just an ADHD thing. Because, I went many, many years not knowing that I actually had ADHD.
My favorite story is I told Dad that I think I might be ADHD, and he told me that I was diagnosed when I was young, but they didn't want to medicate
we didn't
me.
treat it. Yeah.
I was like, I told you.
Yeah. It's like, I've had ADHD since I was 6, and I only found out when I was 24.
Yeah. I'm so glad. Like, that's one thing I'm very thankful for. My mom was a teacher, so she knew the signs. So I've been medicated since I was in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I've never once I've gone my whole life thinking that I had no issues that required like constant medication. Because I've never had to be medicated for anything. But this is like one of these things that I'm not as bad about it now, but I was awful with this for a long time, where if there was a show where like I would read the title of the show and I didn't like the title, there was something about the title that would just like throw me off, then I would never watch the show.
Yeah, that's an ADHD. It's
Okay.
like a sensory thing.
Yeah, I'm like, let's see, what's an example? You know the show House MD? You familiar with it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I refuse to watch that because I'm like, this isn't about a house.
I do like House. It is a good show.
Yeah, now you know, all these years I've finally actually started watching. I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me?
So
I
good.
would have loved this. I would have loved this.
Yeah.
There was a bunch. I'm struggling. I'm blanking on some more of the more like weird ones. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so literally all of my problems are ADHD things.
Mm-hmm.
I have an answer now. I have an answer for everything.
Yep. But
It
that's
feels
what most
nice.
of mine are. Like my mom would always be like, "Why do you put on so many outfits in the morning?" Because I don't like the way that feels. But you wore it last week. Last week it didn't feel like that.
You know how many times during the day I just sporadically change shirts for just no reason, no fucking reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now some of it is like I'll like change shirts to like film something maybe,
right?
Like, you know, like get more into my. So I'm one of those people that have to have a fucking wardrobe for my character.
Yeah, no, my wardrobe consisted of tank tops, Daisy Dukes, and cowboy boots.
Fair enough.
It's funny because people, they know when the goddess is serious because she's standing up. This is typically how I film.
Yeah, just chilled out, sat back. If you stand in, it's like, well, they might be fucked.
They're fucked. Well, they're fucked.
Yeah. I have I would always have like one thing, like even if like for the most part until like recent months, I would be in kind of I don't really give a fuck what I wear for the most part, but I would always have like one thing that I would always have on to like separate me from the character. And this was like I have it with me, like I used to wear this like grungy ass like denim vest. Now it's too big.
Oh, that's good.
So like I'm not kidding. Like whenever I would wear it, like if you go back and find promos of me wearing it, it didn't fit me because I was too big. Now I'm too small. Now I've got like the fucking like trench coat. And
yeah, it's funny because like I was saying about the whole like rich bitch shit, the blue jean shorts I wore were Michael Kors. They were like name brand, expensive ass blue jean shorts.
Hell yeah. You know, this has been an interesting one, like diving in and actually like kind of learning about like your like actual like character stuff. Because there is kind of thing where I feel like there's a lot of the people who have like kind of been around before me, and I'm just kind of used to it, where it's like a lot of people like didn't really have like there's a lot of people who didn't put a lot of thought into that, and then the ones who do don't really feel the need to talk about it.
Right. Well, see, my thing is too, like I feel like a lot of matches now, unless they have a story like in mind for the match and it be long and drawn out, they're one-offs. So I don't really get the chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, because I think had things not gone off the rails with me and Dolly and Fiona and Sherry, I think that would have been a really good time to actually bring up the story of the goddess.
Probably, yeah, because like
they're supposed to be
it
super
really
creepy
did feel
characters.
like, yeah,
Nothing
it
creepier
really,
than a deity
yeah.
from like it's like a Greek goddess or some shit.
Yeah, who's like possessing this poor girl.
Well, the idea behind it was like Lilith.
Uh-huh.
You know, she was supposedly Adam's first wife, and she was super evil. She's a vampire. That's a story about Lilith. And she was the first ever vampire. Or whatever. But Lilith had red hair.
Oh, okay.
But she was like Adam and Eve, Adam's first wife.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I did some research for this shit.
Yeah, that's something I'm not well versed on, which is weird because I guess I've never really had a reason to like dive into it too much. I feel like when I like get now, I'm like, fuck. Now I'm gonna go down a fucking rabbit hole. ADHD shit. I found now you've got me interested in like learning this like more of this like history and getting like more familiar with it. I'm like, fuck.
Also, the Morrigan, it's a Celtic goddess. She's evil too. She's got a fucked up backstory too, man. Yeah.
I know. I won't dive too much because like the last I'd say.
Well, she's a pet crow.
6-7
so I
months.
Use a lot of crow metaphors.
For a while. Like the last 6-7 months is where I've really kind of gotten a chance to really like flesh out like my character's actual story. And this is going to be the year I finally get to tell it.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how many people are ready for that.
I am so excited.
It is
just like I'm so excited about Casey's shit.
Oh yeah, like
that's so
gonna be that's gonna be epic. The shit that I'm cooking up is just gonna be fucking off the wall. There's gonna be a lot of shit that
I was so
a lot of people are not gonna see coming.
Because I know you're in Heresy.
You're in there?
I am. I just watched.
Oh, sweet.
Because me and Byers have had several falling outs.
Yeah.
Just personalities.
I've contemplated. I've contemplated seeing if I could get him on sometime.
I think he would be a really good one.
I think so too, because it's funny. After I did the 420 show with DJB, later that day they did like this like live hangout thing on the Heresy page, and I jumped in there for a bit, and we kind of had a bit of a chemistry going. And I'm like, this would be a good one,
a really good episode, because everybody this is the problem with EFED.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was the problem with me not getting along with a lot of people. Like, my friends now are like, give her a chance. She's not like her character. I mean, parts of me are, but like, I'm not mean all the time like she is, or whatever. Right. People don't know the guy behind the character.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people have said that are close with him is he's very misunderstood.
It's funny right now. He literally like just now messaged me.
That's funny.
We're talking about him and he just messaged me. What the fuck is going on here? Anyway.
Yeah, but like our last falling out was kind of more like my fault too, because I had somebody's back that didn't want him in a certain place. And maybe I shouldn't have stuck my neck out and been like, no, I agree with them. I've got their back, because, well, 2-3 weeks later, that imploded.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked things out for the most part now. Like we speak, but
yeah,
it was the whole. I went back to IW.
Yeah.
It's David's fault. It's always David's fault.
Always.
Always.
If you're watching this, David, I doubt you will. Yeah.
Because you're a terrible human.
Why are you the way that you are?
Why are you the way that you are, David?
We've gone almost 2 hours.
Used to being the bad guy. Just always make David the bad guy.
Yeah. He is.
You're always the bad guy.
He's used to it. Yeah, he's used to it.
That's what's weird about getting along with most types of people in EFED. Is like what? I love our group chat. Oh
Hold
my
on.
God.
Wait. What is it?
What? Why?
Oh, I've heard the story.
CM Punk has beef with Hornswoggle.
I've heard the story from Hornswoggle's mouth in like an interview, but I can't remember the specifics.
Anyway, what I was saying was like people have like real like serious beef with other people that I get along with. So like it's hard to find that balance between being besties with this person who hates this person who I'm okay with.
Yeah.
Like case in point, when I'm pretty good friends with Danny Darko and Heather. And those are two of like, from what I've been told, those are Byers people.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not as bad because I don't think Byers and I still have beef. I don't have beef with him. And if he wanted to come to put, like, if they wanted him to come into XWE, like, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, like whatever, right?
Yeah, like I don't care. I was just trying to be loyal to people.
Yeah.
But perhaps maybe I shouldn't have stuck my neck out for it. That's gonna cause some shit.
Yeah, probably.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. Like, because we're adults. If we can't be adults, then
yeah, I know some of them watch. I think so. That'll be fun.
Oh, well. As long as you don't come for me personally, I don't have an issue with you.
Fair enough.
Because when Nick was looking for me an opponent, he was like, "What about Byers?" I was like, I won't do it. Like, I don't care to be in the same place as him anymore, but I don't want to match.
It's like we can play in the same place. We can be cool. Don't think we'd mesh on a competition
it's like
level.
Me and Cody Petty. We can both be in XWE, but leave me the fuck alone. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have people like that where it's like you can exist where I exist.
By the way. That's another EFED X. He was the first one, actually. And then Australia and Beezy blew up our wedding.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. That happened in the asylum. That was an asylum story too.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I kind of wish I would have been around back then. They blew up. I feel like I would have had so much fun in there. Like if me today would have been around then. Oh God.
Oh yeah, no, I did a whole ass promo talking about how much I hated Al and Back then they were MDK was the faction.
Yeah, I remember MDK.
Yeah.
Fuck. We need a Fed like Asylum.
We do.
To like pop up, because like fuck, that'd be great.
Turn PWL into Asylum.
Oh fuck, you
could do it.
I could. We'll see.
Get Saint to help you. He was like the mastermind behind the Asylum, and it was great.
I'll get back to you on that. I'll get back to you on that. No, we're rapidly approaching the 2-hour mark.
2-hour mark.
Yeah. This has been a wild one.
That you and Casey went for an hour and a half. I was like, what did y'all talk about for an hour and a half?
Me and Anton went over 2 hours. Yeah. Like I said, like, once you get in the swing of just talking a bunch of shit, it just that's what I love about doing this show. It's just there's not really a format. It's just kind of.
I can only imagine how long we would have went if DJB was here.
Oh man!
Can you imagine the
tangent? Who even
knows?
Oh god! Who knows, man? Who knows? So since we're reaching this, we'll kind of start trying to. I'm sure we could probably sit here and talk almost all day.
Probably.
But can't really do that.
I have to go to work.
Yeah, and I don't, but I've got things I do need to do anyway. But we'll
sleep.
At some point eventually, yes.
And eat.
Yeah. So we'll I'll hit you a little bit of a final round here.
Okay.
Let's see. You'd mentioned earlier talking about like you only really watch like your people.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your people?
My people. The whites.
I've got a pretty good idea of who they are.
Yeah,
but,
the whites. When Beezy's competing, Beezy, but he's not. To my knowledge, he's not competing anywhere right now. Tommy Dyer. You, Casey Campbell, Casey Moran. Is there anybody else? I'm probably leaving somebody out, and they're going to be like, "You didn't talk about me."
It's like, oh,
sorry.
That 4 simple letters to explain that.
Sorry.
There are 4 simple letters to explain that.
Yeah. Who else will I watch? And then people I'm in a match with. But like those are like my main people. Mm-hmm. Really the people in our group chat.
Yeah. Like the people who is like either people that you just like out of loyalty. Is there anyone that just like maybe it's not someone you talk to often, but is there like anyone that just grabs your attention and you're just like, okay, I need to stop what I'm doing and watch this. See what this is about.
I've watched a lot of is it Exilium? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of that stuff in XWE.
Okay, cool.
Because until recently, like me and Dylan would talk every now and then.
Uh-huh.
Me and DJB would talk every now and then. But because Dylan's my ginger. He's my ginger twin. Because us gingers have to stick together.
Right.
But I'm trying to think who else.
So I'll tell you, like, the 2 people I know who, like, I will always put aside to watch, 2 people in particular that it's like, no matter what I'm doing, if I'm scrolling and I see their face pop up on my
Casey
screen, I'm
Campbell.
like, okay, make that 3 people. Casey, Joey, and Crimson Wolf.
Yes.
Like those 3,
Yes.
no matter what, if I see them on
Joey
my
scares
screen,
the fuck out of me. It
but then
creeps me
like
out.
like
Stay
he's
away from
got these hellacious visuals, and he's just got this like he's so like just like dark, but then like you
Well, that's what I
watch him
said in
and
my
then it's like
my Ladies XWE promo. I told
Mhm.
him, I said, stay the fuck away from me.
yeah, and then immediately what do you do?
Hi.
Yep. Yep. And then but it's like, you know, you see the visuals and it's like, oh, what the fuck is up with this guy? And then you listen to him and it's like he draws you in. He's a fucking master at this shit. Bison's another one that
And the
I'll
reason
put
that I
aside
watch
to pay
all of
attention
Joey's
to.
stuff is because Casey's his prodigy,
Mm-hmm.
and I love Casey.
Yeah, and I'm in that camp as well. Of I'm sort of under that tree.
You either love Casey Campbell or you're wrong, and that is a hill I will
Facts.
die on.
Facts. There's a reason why he was the first episode.
I love him so much, and I love him as a person too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's just a good fucking person.
Yeah. Another thing. Who are some of your favorite people that you've worked with?
Number one, and I have said this for years, even when her and I had a hey, my phone's dying. Even when her and I had a falling out years ago, my favorite feud ever is Jade Diamond. She pushed me to be the best I could be. Because if you go up against Jade Diamond and you don't bring your best, she's going to fucking eat you for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way Sherry is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a match one time with BZ. That was fun. He has never beat me. Because it was a draw. And yet, you know, as my bestie, I remind him of that every chance I get. I had a match one time in the Asylum with Daniel Saint. And in my book, Saint can do no wrong. He's just really fucking good at it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a fucking perfectionist.
So good. And like he did all these like graphics and stuff before that was the thing too.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's kind of the one that kind of rubbed that off on me. Like the graphic stuff, because like when I first started, I kept shit very simple, and then I got with him and all that when we did the Rapture stuff in IW, and I saw stuff, I was like, oh, yo, this is pretty sick, and then I started doing it. So that's kind of where all that sort of come from.
In EFED to like I just bought a green screen. I've never used it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I have a ring light and a green screen now.
Ooh, things about to get interesting. Okay, last one, since you said you're dying over there. We'll end with this one. If you could pick one person to run a story with right now, who would it be?
Probably Joey or Tommy Dyer.
Okay.
Because
I didn't expect you to say Joey. I would have expected Dyer though.
I think like one of those where like he's always creeping me out and always in like the shadows and like stop
it almost reminds me of there was one time I remember I don't remember if there was a full story out of it or if it was just a one-off, a thing with Jade Diamond and Onions. And it was kind of that similar vibe. You remember Onions, right?
I do, because I had a match with Claire when I first came back, like a year ago. And every time I have a match against her, I bring it up because Onions ate her and James Park's babies.
Yep. Yeah.
And my lovely best friend wrote that story. or hell. Matt apparently right that.
I feel like there would be kind of a similar like vibe there where like because like Jade was like, keep this fucking thing away.
Keep it away.
Not keep.
Go
Yeah,
away.
not keep this guy away from me. Keep this thing away from me.
Whatever he is.
Yeah, whatever the fuck you are, fuck off. I'm leaving the country.
Well, and the reason I say Dyer is he can also do no wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't need the green screen shit.
No.
And still like keeps your attention.
Yeah.
Like we had one match. No, I think we've had two now because I think I lost one, I've won one. But I was Dyer's first loss in RPW.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It pays for your best friend to run the shit. No, I'm kidding. BZ has made me lose so many matches in RPW. Like, I think he told me one time I hold the record for the number of losses in RPW.
Hey.
So.
You gotta have a record somewhere.
Like, I'm not a constant there. Like, I'm not on every show. Mm-hmm. Because he knows I won't show up. Because back until, like, recently, I was still dealing with, like, my ex being weird and court stuff. And so, like, sometimes it was just too much.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, if DJB was here, he would actually steal my thunder on what I just asked being the last question, because he introduced this to Casey Moran on the last episode, and I feel like he would have done the same to you here. He would ask you for a rapid fire top 5 out of nowhere.
Like, who are my favorite?
And it's like rapid fire, first 5 names that come to your head. If you want to do it, go for it. But I wasn't gonna surprise you with it because I know that there's 4 letters that really fuck with us here, and we can't think like that.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my top 5, and people can get pissed. I don't care.
Yep.
Tommy Dyer, Casey Campbell. And I'm not just saying this because I'm on your show, TJ Blair. This is gonna make his head even bigger than it already is. Dylan Mason and Alicia White.
Okay, that's a good top 5. I like that.
Yes,
and I'm not saying
that.
Fuck. And I'm not like, just saying that because I'm on it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know about the Stabby bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And she terrifies me.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a good top 5. And again, I'm not just saying that because I'm on it. But okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good play. This was a fun one. This was a fun one.
It's because we're so easy. We're like tangents.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And let's see. I didn't do this on the last one. We got so occupied with Moran, I forgot to properly announce the next episode, which is you, but I'll do it now. The next episode after you was kind of a last minute thing. The next episode will be
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. I can't wait to do that one.
Yeah.
But so stay tuned for that one, everyone. Thanks to all who watched and endured this madness fest.
2 hours?
Yeah, this 2-hour mad fest. And we'll catch everyone in the next one. Until then. Farewell.
Bye.
If you're someone who has some history or some stories in the eFed community that you would like to talk about on a platform, well, I've got the place for you right here on the Unplugged podcast. Just hit me up and we will schedule a show just for you. As always, thank you for watching and listening, and I will talk to all of you later on.